Chat. I just want everyone to know that is all normal. Also, I wasn't the only one in the house. No. I wasn't the only one in the house that got it. Many other.
Why are you admitting to it? Never admit to it. You're not supposed to admit to it. You're supposed to say he's bitter and lying. He's bitter and lying. You're not supposed to admit to it. Try again.
Tonight I am going to a new sex party out here in LA that requires everybody submit an STI test before you attend.
Wow, so straight away, bruv. Straight away, fam. Fam, she goes to parties where she gets to throw her box around with random strange men, bruv. Yeah. And from her first line talking about today I'm going to a party where everybody has to submit a STI checkup. Bro, that means that she usually goes to these kind of parties where they don't have to prove their bill of health. This is scary, bro.
One night stands made me feel emboldened. But in reality, I was using sex like a drug, trying unsuccessfully to fill a hole inside me with men. Pun intended. I told myself I didn't care. I didn't care when a man ghosted me. I didn't care when he left in the middle of the night or hinted that he wanted me to leave. The walks of shame, the blackouts, the anxiety. The lie I told myself for decades was, I'm not in pain, I'm empowered. I knew it would be hard to read this. Looking back, it isn't a surprise that I lied to myself, because from a young age, sex was something I was lied to about.
If you are sexually active, and you know that you have an STD, then you need to inform people of that. Because when you don't, and you infect that person, you are changing their life forever, and they are making a decision that they do not know. Like, this shit is going to change the rest of my life. And there's nothing I can do. And I'm embarrassed. And I'm humiliated, and I feel so stupid. I feel so stupid for letting someone take advantage of me in a moment of weakness. But I did not consent to this. And I'm going to get justice for myself. Because there have been so many times in my life where I haven't. And this is not fair. And I refuse to let anybody else feel like this if I can help it.
What is your confession?
No way. I definitely had a 5.
What?
And it was right after I got done with my white boyfriend. And it was all black guys.
This is ridiculous, man. Ridiculous.
What are the chances me and my homies and you have a 4?
10 out of 10.
What are the chances we do that right now?
Right now.
Yeah.
In the middle of all this.
Nah, we got a B&B 5 minutes away.
Okay. Okay, ready?
Go ahead. Alright, we actually gotta go back to the crib. This one ready right now.
Oh, honey, there was no denying that I got it. I'm stubborn as a motherfucker. Did not go to the doctor for about 2 weeks. Me and one of my girlfriends were looking on Google Images, and I was like, no, that's not what it looks like. It's not herpes. It's a yeast infection. We go to CVS. Like, I think I went to CVS 2 or 3 times and got a yeast infection kit, the monostat, because I was like, no, it's not herpes at all. But it was. I got to the point where I couldn't walk. I had to pee in the shower. And I was like, okay, I need to go to Planned Parenthood. Laid down on the table, spread them. And the doctor was like, yeah, that's herpes, like, immediately. And I just started bawling. And was like, oh my God, am I gonna die? That's what I said. And she was like, no, you're not gonna die. So many people have it. And that's how I knew.
You probably think women who look like her would have an STD, but you'd be right more than wrong. However, it's the women who look like the good girls who are more likely to get one because they can fool a lot of men, thus sleeping around. Amy Horton is one of those who looks closer to a good girl or a plain Jane than a wild chick who clearly has daddy issues. For those who don't know about Amy Horton, she's a post-wall feminist writer who wrote salacious articles about her hookup lifestyle, with articles like "I am woman, hear me roar," "Why I'd rather travel alone." This is why I love having best guy friends. I moved and my dating life changed drastically for the better. She would live her life as if she is the star of a Sex and the City reality TV show. Ironically, she's a Hollywood reject because tried acting but never got anywhere. But before we go any further, let me share the comment of the day. Shout out to Snake Pliskin, who said, "Imagine a world where you sign a contract with a company, then 1 to 5 years later you quit and demand the money to keep paying you salary regardless. And the government will even force them to pay even so you're of no more value to the company. I call that fraud. They call it alimony." That is a fantastic analogy, my friend. So please don't forget to reach out to us by email to claim your $5. As usual, guys, I'll pick one comment from each video. It may be the funniest, the most liked, or just one that touched me, so don't forget to leave a comment and you may be our next winner. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons too, as it helps us out a lot. Now, back to the video.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever.
I'm not going back.
Come on, Kate. You got lucky, right? Could have been a lot worse.
Hendrix is dead. How was that luck?
He's in critical condition.
You saw what he looked like.
Look, there's always hope, okay?
You think it wouldn't have been as bad if they'd been up to code?
What are you talking about?
The bribes from the club. You think that we'd be sitting here with a club that burned down overnight if it had been up to code?
Jesus, just let it go, okay? You don't know that for certain.
What I know is you're on top of the take, Rich. You don't ride around in a Bentley on a fire chief's salary. Guys think they want the beef, they want the filet, they want a nice cut, and they want it lean. And then all of a sudden they're like, fuck it, let's go with chicken. And the beef's like, whoa, what about me? What about my peppercorn cream? I thought we had a good thing going.
This really isn't about table service, is it?
Yeah? Yesterday, Greg left me for a teenager.
That can't be legal.
Neither is torching his car, but I did that too. I'm speaking figuratively. Who told you I'm pregnant? Dr. Lee?
Call it a woman's intuition. What's wrong? Aren't you excited?
I'm supposed to be, right? That's what everyone seems to think.
And you aren't?
I'm not married. I work 75 hours a week minimum, and I'm passionate about helping other women achieve their best birth. Keyword, other.
You don't want it for yourself?
I don't know what I want. I do know for sure that I'm going to find out the gender, because I don't want any more surprises.
Finally, reality has caught up to her and she caught an incurable STD, genital warts, which can spread through skin contact. So, she decides to write an article about it to help quote-unquote empower women who are in the same situation. Also, she wants the attention, no matter if it's good or bad. Any attention is good attention to modern women. The truth behind my HPV diagnosis and how it turned my life into unnecessary chaos. No surprise her life is chaotic after catching an incurable STD. They don't warn people for nothing. A promiscuous woman's life is like a house of cards, built on lies, scams, and projection. So when something like this happens, it comes tumbling down. I stared at the doctor unblinkingly. It was a mistake. I had to have heard her wrong. Even as the thought flitted through my mind, I knew I hadn't. How many other unsuspecting men did she sleep with once she got the warts? Because it sounds like she was in denial even after the doc told her she had it. It didn't look like a textbook case of genital warts. I'd only noticed a few small, persistent bumps that refused to go away. Even when my pap smear came back abnormal and the clinic informed me that I may very well have contracted HPV, it didn't occur to me that I had the strain that also caused those bumps. I felt dirty and ashamed. Sounds like genital warts, and she was dirty long before she got the STD. as she probably has had a lot of unprotected sex with many men. Maybe a crime scene can be solved with a DNA swap of her snatch. It's sad that it took an STD, but not getting pumped and dumped for almost 3 decades for her to feel ashamed. A woman who can't get into a long, meaningful relationship is the equivalent of an incel or 40-year-old virgin. Both are the same, but on the opposite sides of that spectrum. But an incel or a virgin can improve their lives and change the situation. A single cat lady can't reverse time or become a virgin again. Though the outbreak didn't look like anything much, I felt the specific heaviness that goes along with the STI stigma that is socially widespread in the United States. How could I tell anyone? Feminists now call STDs STI, which means sexually transmitted infections, instead of sexually transmitted diseases to try to make an STD sound less dangerous. It's called a disease for a reason, and the so-called stigma is there to properly scare people. I'd not slept with that many partners. My relationships were most often long and monogamous. That's a lie. Maybe she means at that time, because women always omit key details like period of time to cover up their dirty deeds. If she truly had long relationships, it would be less than a handful, not decades of escapades that she documented on the internet. The internet is forever. One search of her name will show her the articles she proudly wrote on archive websites. I did not think of myself as a likely candidate to have any type of sexual issue. Because of all this, my knowledge of HPV and other STIs was little to none. Being ignorant of something puts her at a higher risk of catching an STD. Also, it's common sense. The more people a person sleeps with, the higher of a chance they'll get pregnant or catch an STD. She's either lying or a real sociopath, meaning she truly believes she's an innocent person despite living the life to the contrary. Like, there are serial killers who can easily pass a polygraph test because they don't realize they're telling lies. Thus, their body language doesn't change. As I learned more about it, I was surprised. Before my diagnosis, I'd had no idea that HPV was so common and widespread. It can stay dormant in the body for years and never present any symptoms. I could have contracted it from any one of my partners. If I hadn't displayed the outbreak of bumps or had an abnormal pap smear, I might have never known I had it at all. When I hatingly revealed my news to a brashly honest friend of mine, her response was, "The CDC claims 1 out of 5 people in America have STDs, and since a majority of modern women try to sleep with the Chads and Tyrones, the circle of people is much smaller." The stat should actually say 1 out of 5 people who's ever had sex with more than one person has an STD, because at least 50% of men in America or virgin women aren't the ones sleeping around. Oh, no big deal. I had those when I was 19. They go away. Everyone gets HPV. So Amy's doc was also a hoe, meaning by the numbers, she must have lost her virginity at the age of 15. And no, not everyone gets HPV. Only Chads, Tyrones, and modern women. I was shocked by her cavalier attitude, but it also made me feel slightly relieved. Maybe it really wasn't a big deal. Still, despite everything I'd read about its widespread prevalence, despite learning that my immune system would clear the virus from my body eventually, I had no idea how to break the news to a romantic partner without feeling disgusting. Modern women can't take accountability if their life depended on it. Whether she tells her partner or not, she is disgusting. The warts are an externalization of her degenerate lifestyle. The chickens are coming home to roost with these outbreaks on her fishy cunt. I'd just begun dating someone new, fairly soon after a tumultuous breakup. We hadn't slept together yet, but I was wrestling some complicated feelings regarding my previous boyfriend. My new problem made everything else feel overwhelmingly unmanageable. I decided that I had to talk to my ex about what I'd learned. I would wait and figure out what to tell this new guy later. It wasn't a pressing issue, so I pushed that particular stress away for the moment. Who would have thought her ex would leave? Apparently, he tested negative or she would have blamed him for the STD. So it's likely either she cheated or he was super lucky he didn't catch it from her. She should go to jail, because she is continuing to risk exposing other men to warts if they have skin contact with her. So when Amy claimed she and the new guy, we haven't slept together yet, that doesn't mean they didn't kiss or cuddle or do other intimate acts. My self-esteem was already floundering, and the feeling that I was somehow tainted only made it worse. I called my ex to discuss what I'd learned. I figured that it was the right thing to do, as he was the last person I'd slept with prior to the knowledge. My heart in my throat, I blurted everything out awkwardly. I didn't know how to approach it any better. There was silence, and my stomach churned. Then he responded. Sorry to break the news, she is tainted. Are you okay? That was my undoing. That moment of kindness, that concern for me instead of an angry reaction, was the catalyst for the drama of several months thereafter. I didn't tell the man I'd begun dating. I couldn't. I felt horrible about myself as it was. Instead, I made excuses for not getting more physically intimate with him. I used any and every reason I could think of not to go further. Meanwhile, I began spending time with my ex again in secret. Not only is she wasting this new guy's time and possibly risking him getting it, she's also cheating with him, with her ex. The woman who claimed she had long, monogamous relationships just used the STD excuse to cheat on him. I couldn't sleep, or eat, or stop crying. I developed a facial tic from the stress of hiding my condition and the fact that I was dating two people who didn't know about each other. I couldn't stop seeing my former boyfriend. He was the only one who knew the truth, and he still treated me normally. I became addicted to spending time with him. It allowed me to forget everything for a while. Only modern women can use an excuse like catching an STD to cheat. This is why men should not date or court modern women, because modern women have no problem wasting men's time and resources. Go Dutch on everything and see if she's still interested in the real you and not the benefits of dating. If a woman mentions an ex without the topic of past relationships being brought up, she's definitely still hung up on the ex and will cheat with him if she got the chance. It's like a Freudian slip. The unconscious mind brings up something she truly desires. I'm not proud of the way I behaved during this time period. I hurt a very decent man who eventually found me out and stopped seeing me. We weren't officially a couple, but I knew that it would hurt him if he learned that I was dating another guy behind his back. I didn't exactly lie to him about my HPV, but I definitely omitted the truth. So, either she's strung along a beta male or she's lying about the relationship part to make herself not look like a cheater. Men wouldn't get upset if a casual fling was seeing someone else. But because she didn't have sex with the new guy, she probably acted innocent and used him to validate her by taking her on dates, thinking she was a good girl who didn't put out until she got serious. Another lesson here is that if a modern woman has just gotten out of a relationship and wants to take things slow or not rush into anything, she's using you as an emotional tampon or as a rebound to build herself back up for chads or her ex. I do believe that if there was not such a heavy stigma around STIs and the idea of having HPV, especially genital warts, I would have had an easier time coming clean and telling everyone the truth. So it's society's fault for scaring people about STDs that she didn't tell the truth. Unbelievable. With her logic, maybe society shouldn't have a heavy stigma about radiation and not warn people about Chernobyl or atomic sites so they can move in a radioactive area and die slow, painful deaths. I could have avoided so much pain, stress, and shame. I didn't want anyone to know. If we took the embarrassment out of the conversation so that everyone who struggles with HPV or any other STI could feel okay about it, the world would be a happier place. We must spread facts and eliminate the harmful myths that shroud sexual infections in shame and secrecy. In conclusion, this basically is an article of her trying to cope with the fact that she can't sleep around anymore without a care in the world. The whole stigma part is her wanting men to lower their standards, to appease her and her loose lifestyle. Getting painful outbreaks on the genitals doesn't make the world a happier place. The world is a happier place now that she can't freely spread her legs and contribute to the hookup culture. There are plenty of men who she probably rejected for being too short or not successful enough that are laughing their ass off because they dodged a bullet. and many more who have dealt with the same type of woman. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.